Yeah.
Renee.
You know that dude's up there like, I know you not gonna act like you don't see me. Big ass ghost there, and I know you see my spooky ass out here. I mean, geez, it's broad daylight and everything, man. Come on. Go on over to dtmerch.com. Show some love to us by getting that merch that we have available for you. Check us out. Double Toasted live in Atlanta. That's going to be September 2nd for a night of comedy games and the after party that we have going on for you. That's going to be at the Marietta's new theater in the square. Let's go ahead and get into our first thing that we got here today. And that's our review of Insidious. Not just Insidious, but they got a red door now, boy.
Is that right?
Man, they got a red.
Is this to the speakeasy?
Oh, Martin, not the kind of speakeasy that you want to. Ain't nothing easy about what's behind that red door at all. It's the kind of club you don't want to go into, Martin. It's not the kind of red light district you want, Martin. Not at all. And let me tell you something. So, of course, this is a sequel to Insidious. They're saying right now that as far as this chapter, this story arc in the world of Insidious, this is supposed to be the last one. But let's talk about the first Insidious, because this is a movie I remember a lot, you know, because with this movie, I was wrong.
I went into Dalton's room. There was something in there with him.
I want to leave this house.
Boy, I saw this movie, and I think I saw it during a film festival. I don't remember which one. Maybe it was South by Southwest. Maybe it was Fantastic Fest. But I remember I came out, and I said, damn, that movie sucked. Who's with me? I know everybody agree with me on this. Y'all saw the same thing I saw. Y'all saw this bullshit, didn't you? Be like, no, we saw something good. And I was like, oh, shit.
There are certain movies that I avoided like the plague because you hated them so much. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Yes.
Van Wilder. Jingle All the Way. And Insidious.
I've come to understand and just come to peace with, I'm just the one. I'm that guy. You know, and I had no problem with that. Just something about this movie that just did not appeal to me. I thought it wasn't scary. I thought it was too cheap. And apparently, you know, my ego was so huge at the time that I thought the whole world would agree with me just because I said so. And everybody told me I was a fool.
You said it was just a spook house movie.
I sure did. And you know what? For my own personal sake, I still say it's kind of like that for me. I've tried to watch this again. And that's the thing with some of these movies. I'll go back and try to give them another chance because I say, hey, apparently I missed something here. I don't know, maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace that day. And I saw this and I still say the same thing. It's just, sometimes you just have movies that just do not agree with you.
Oh, I'm well familiar with that.
And that's fine. And for the rest of the world who love this movie, and a lot of people do, enough to have some prequels and now this sequel right here, that is fine with me, man. I actually have some respect for Insidious. Because, yeah, I do think it's cheap. But I think that this is a movie that somehow with their story, somehow with their concept, it resonated with people to where it was able to overcome the low budget. And by the way, this was also a Blumhouse movie. And Blumhouse, like I said, they give you about $50 and a camera. They give you $50 a camera and a bologna sandwich and say, oh, go shoot a movie, man. So I have, regardless of what I say, I have a lot of respect for Insidious and the success that it's had. And it definitely has scared a lot of people and created a lot of imagery out there, a lot of scary imagery for people that has haunted people right now, like that damn balding demon right there.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, that middle-aged Darth Maul.
That's his uncle.
He's called Mr. Maul.
Principal Maul. It didn't get better for me with some of these other prequels and sequels that came out. I can't say that I like too much of those either. But I will say that this film series right here, which has been the center of a family that has somehow tapped into a dimension called the further, where the dead want life so much that they want to take your life. Oh. They say, ooh, they can smell that nice juicy life up in you, man. You know, they're tired of repeating the same thing over and over again. The thing is, they say if you mess up and you die in the further, you're doomed to repeat it. Nobody wants to up on repeat, so they say, hey, the only way I can get out of it is taking yours. And their children has been able to tap into this, and the demons have been able to come over. At least one main demon has been able to come over and try to take this child's life. And then from that point on, it has really torn this family apart. And that's what we have with this latest sequel right here, Insidious The Red Door. Now, here's where the fans of Insidious and non-fans like myself can probably agree. Being that this is the last chapter, they say, at least in this story arc right here, last in this phase, because they already got something else called Thread or something, you know. They already planning spinoffs and everything like that. Or maybe not, depending on how this does and what the reception is on this. But hey, all of us, we want to see a good movie. Nobody's going into this wanting to see a bad movie, at least not me. I'm not hating. I would love for this to end on a high note. So let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for Insidious, The Big Red Door. And we'll come back to see if this does indeed end on a high note.
Yeah.
You know that dude's up there like, I know you not gonna act like you don't see me. Big ass ghost there, and I know you see my spooky ass out here. I mean, Jesus, broad daylight and everything, man. Come on. you know this shit had to go through to get here. I'll make you see me.
I'm seeing crazy stuff. I think this drawing.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Every creepy little white kid that I know, I think listens to Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
It's a catchy tune, man. It's good.
Every time I see a creepy little white kid, I think he goes home and puts that shit on immediately.
Starts dancing.
Yeah, he starts dancing like that.
Tiptoe through the tulips with me.
One of those kids, y'all.
Using one of the
The clues from my past.
The further you travel, the riskier your journey will become.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you again, because you know I love starting out with a positive right here. So with this film, I think when it starts out, and nobody saw this, right? So I'm the one that saw
I
this.
haven't seen
Okay,
it.
so
I've only seen the first two,
you only see the first two,
which
Okay.
I guess this is a direct sequel to.
Yeah, because they've had some prequels in there before.
Yeah, 3 and 4 are prequels.
And I don't remember them too much. I remember like Insidious, The Lost Key or something. I remember that being terrible.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that was.
But it is a good setup for drama. So if anybody's familiar with the series, you know, again, this family has been plagued by these demons to the point where I don't want to give away too much if you haven't seen it, but it possessed some people in the family and it really caused some trauma for the whole, you know, for everybody involved.
Right.
So you have Josh, who's played by Patrick Wilson, who by the way directed this.
Okay.
This right here.
Directorial debut, right?
Yeah, directorial debut. And that is Dalton, young Dalton, but we have an older Dalton that you see here, played by Ty Simpkins. Anyway,
Same kid, same actor.
I think so. I think it's the same actor.
is it the same actor?
I believe
yeah,
so.
yeah, Ty Simpkins. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good because the kid I was about to say looks just like them. That's great casting. If not, you
No,
know,
he's got that funny little nose and mouth. It's easy to spot.
he's got like a cartoon face. It's adorable. But Ty Simpkins, who's much older right now, you know, as a little kid, they went through it, man. They went through hell. That demon was after that boy, messed with dad to the point where he tried to pull a Shining on the family and everything. So they think it's better that if they're hypnotized and they're told to forget about all those incidents, it's going to be better for everyone. And they did try, you know, but to forget about these demons and ghosts from this place called The Further and pretty much cleanse their minds, thinking that it's going to go home and everybody's going to be one big happy family. It made that shit worse. A whole lot worse.
Damn.
Yeah, so, you know, Mom, who's played by, what's her name?
Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne. Yeah, she said, well, nobody hypnotized my ass.
I remember all of it.
She said, I remember all this shit. Ain't nobody hypnotized me. She like, I remember every detail. She says, in fact, you know what? I can't take this. They got divorced. Dalton today, he can't stand his father. And, you know, he's He says, I don't know what's going on, but I think there's secrets being kept from me. You're not as close as you were never a close dad. You were never there, that kind of shit. You were never there for me, So they kind of, so he tried
Growing up in the 70s.
Yeah, shit, try growing up around goddamn demons. That's what he pretty much tells me. It's like, you know what? First of all, my dad was never there, and I was possessed by demons. So,
Not that it matters.
yeah, no, I mean, come on, man, give me a break. But yeah, he hates his dad. The family is falling apart. Mom plays by Rose Byrne. She said, you know what? Because the Josh's dad, Josh is the Patrick Wilson character. Josh's his mother. Josh's mother has just died, and so after the funeral, Dalton has to go to college, and she says, "Why don't you go ahead and try to get close with Dalton and take him to college?" And that creates another slight problem right here for the movie with me. So while it's creating a lot of drama, and kind of, it is very interesting to see how this is going to come together for the family, because at this point, it's not just about the supernatural. It's not just about the ghost. It is about how this family has been torn apart by these evil spirits, and can the family ever get together again? So this whole thing with Josh trying to get back in a good relationship with his son, Dalton right here, you do kind of wonder if this is going to work. You do feel for them until it starts doing that whole movie shit of Dalton being a brat. I mean, they make him just a little bit too bratty. I understand that, you've been through a lot of shit. I understand that. But, they make him one of those teenagers in a movie where everything is whatever. Everything, if it's not said, it has the attitude, whatever. And dad is just like, listen, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to connect with you. I'm sorry for whatever I did. Yeah, whatever. Mom is texting. How's it going, with the trip? Terrible. Whatever. I was like, oh, Jesus, man. Because dad even says, God damn, go to college, man. Have some fun. Get laid. Get some ass. You're far away from this now. Come on, man. And that's actually, that's why the scenes are not entirely bad with bratty Dalton. Mm-hmm. Because Patrick Wilson's character, Josh, he just finally, he just loses it. Because he's how most movies, they'll take half the movie with dad trying to, reconnect with the kids. Yeah. And Patrick Wilson, he just, what's your problem, man? When did you turn into such a bitch? As a little beat, when did you turn such a little shit? He's like, you know what? I spent way too much time driving your ass here. I spent way too much money on college to get here and have you treat me like shit. I ain't putting up with this.
Good.
And even then he says some shit where dad is like, oh, well. Well, you got me there. Doing that shit in the car. That's like, dad. I did have to laugh the way Dalton turned that shit on him. Because he told us some shit where he's just like, man. But, that's... That would be cool. Like this whole dynamic between them, even Dalton being bratty, that would be cool with them going back and forth, taking jabs at each other, trying to figure out how this tension between them is going to work out. If the character of Dalton, not bratty, but wasn't just boring.
Oh.
I mean, I could deal with the brattiness. Brattiness has the energy and emotion behind it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But the way, and I'm not talking about Ty Simpkins, the actor, of course. I say this with everybody. It's just the character has been written and directed to the point where he's just not that interesting. The most energy I saw in Dalton was when he looked towards his roommate and said, "This party sucks." And he only said that because he was talking over the music.
Okay. He had to sound loud.
He had to show some emotion.
Had to shout.
This party sucks. I was like, shit, turn up the music to the whole movie so he can have some energy behind him, man.
Wow.
It only becomes more obvious because he has a roommate that he's kind of got by mistake, because you can see it's a chick. Actor's name is Sinclair Daniel, but this girl that has moved in with him temporarily, becomes friends with him, and this girl, she's the opposite. She's actually too much energy. She's on all the time. Because they got to make her like the funny character.
Yeah.
Kind of the comic relief in a way.
Oh, black and funny? Is that what they're doing?
No, actually, no.
Oh, really?
No, it ain't. No, she don't come in like, who's a white boy? Nothing like that.
Okay, I was gonna say.
White people always talking to ghosts. No, nothing like that.
Okay.
No.
I kind of want that now. I think that would make a great
I wouldn't mind that either, man. Who is you? Who is you?
Now you're selling me completely.
I wish that was the character.
Okay.
No, she's more art student annoying.
Oh.
Like she comes
pretentious.
She's done with she's just always on, man. She's always pushing people. She's tell me, all right, well, obviously I'm not going anywhere, so tell me something about yourself. You're lame at this. Try again, keep going. And and also she's the kind of character where, okay, this will tell you how annoying she is. She's not that annoying, but she's if we were around her more, she would be somebody that would just drain you, man. Because she I'll tell you the kind of person she is.
Right.
She's the kind of person that just spontaneously likes to speak in a British accent.
What?
That's weird.
Now,
Weird detail.
because she says in the movie like, I do weird things. Like sometimes I order things in a weird British accent, and I'm gonna tell
She's
you,
quirky. That's what it is. Yeah.
Let me ask y'all a question. Name me one person that you know that does a fake British accent that you like. All of them are annoying.
I do have a friend. We all love him. He speaks in a British accent. We know it's a put on because even though his father's British, he only lived there for 1 year when he was already a teenager.
Asshole.
But he's such a sweet guy that we're almost protective of him because people meet him, they're like, the f-? And we're like, it's all right, he's cool.
That's what he does.
Yeah, it's what he does. It's
even-
some kind of trauma from his childhood that makes him do that.
Don't let me meet this person. Bitch, you ain't British. You better drop that old tatty hoe shit. Bitch, I know you ain't British.
Because he's like a 6'2" Mexican.
Oh,
Wow, okay. That is
hell
weird.
no.
But his father is British, so he's half. But yeah, it's a thick British accent. It's just like when you first meet him, you're like, what is going on?
It don't sound convincing at all, does it?
Yeah.
No.
Well, the most unrealistic thing in this review so far, I have to say, is like, wait a minute, they're together, like in a dorm?
Well, there's a mix-up because her name is Chris. So they think that she's a guy. And she ends up being in the boys' dorm
Listen,
room.
as someone who's worked at many universities, that's bullshit. That would never happen. That is the most. I will expect ghosts haunting a university before you would have a male student and a female student sharing a dorm room or something like that. That is ridiculous.
Here's the other most unrealistic thing.
Yeah.
He don't even attempt to try.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's how depressed he is.
Wow. Okay. Because it looks like you're having fun.
Well, maybe he's on Zoloft.
Yeah. So you on that goat shit is what it is. Yeah, man. They
They even try to.
he didn't even try. Man. He didn't even try. He didn't even attempt. But no, it's like I said, the character's not that annoying. It's just that she's just so high energy that it just shows the difference between them and how uninteresting he is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, maybe she's trying to fill the gap. It's like, okay, he's not stepping up. I gotta.
They write the character to, because again, and I think the movie needs that kind of. It needs a character to come in and be funny because the movie needs that kind of energy in it. It's just that we're centered on Dalton more. And like I said, some of the things that this character does is just, it's like looking at a comedy duo where one person is putting in all the work and you got the straightest of straight man ever who ain't doing shit.
Right.
And it's just, like I said, it just makes him seem a lot less interesting.
Sure.
Until later in the movie where things start to actually come to a head. You get into your climax and then Dalton has to take action. But for the most part, it's an hour and 47 movie. We spend a lot of time before we get to that last part where it just feels like there's nothing really happening with the character, or the character's not giving that much. That's just me though. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Because apparently I'm scared because a lot of people see these movies and they like them better than I do. So maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my insidious bias here. I don't know. What?
Yeah, don't let them intimidate you.
Yeah, man.
Speak your truth.
No, I am, man.
Push back against those James Wan fans. Come on now.
Well, I'm just careful. Last time when I reviewed Insidious and said it was bad, people jumped on my ass bad about that. I had to get some better help, man.
That's why he set up something. You got something going on.
Oh, it's been a long time since I hit y'all with an ad right here.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Y'all seeing ghosts? This portion of the review is brought to us by BetterHelp.com. Are you going through some trauma? Are you having certain thoughts about certain things? Are you depressed? I mean, yes, we all if anybody's going through that, we all need therapy for something like that. But also, a lot of people don't understand that therapy is just for maintaining your good mental health. You know, you don't have to be out there, you know, to get it. I mean, what if you just want to organize your mind? You know, you got a lot of decisions that you got to make. You know, there's a lot going on in your life, and you just need to sit back and just kind of compartmentalize, organize, you know, somehow just make things seem like they're more of in a straight line for you. And if that's the case, then BetterHelp is a good place to start. To get started is very easy. You just get online, fill out a questionnaire, and they need that so you can get matched with the right therapist. And if you feel like you don't have the right therapist, well, you can go in and you can change that without any charge at all. And as I said here, you know, it's a very convenient way to do it because you can get therapy at times when, you know, the traditional way is not available. You know, you'd be surprised how you can get people available at all kind of times with BetterHelp.com. So, it sounds like it's something for you. And believe me, I think we all need a point where it's okay to talk to somebody and help get ourselves together. And just consider it like training or working out. You know, you go to the gym to work out your body. You exercise to stay healthy. The brain is the same way. Mm-hmm. You know, exercise your mental health too. And start with BetterHelp.com. And I'll make it even easier for you to get started because if you go to BetterHelp.com/doubletoasted, you will get 10% off your first month. I want to thank BetterHelp.com for coming in and sponsoring this portion of the show. And I want to thank all of you out there for your support. You know, speaking of like people being in awkward comedies or doing awkward comedy, the movie has awkward comedy moments in it. You know, like I said, it's needed for a film like this. You need to have for a movie that not even that scary. Because if you ask me, it's not that scary.
You need levity.
You need levity for a movie that just kind of feels like the movie. I'm gonna be honest with you, it feels like this dull to me. Yeah, the movie just was kind of boring to me. So I welcome any kind of comedy that they can bring in, but the comedy just doesn't seem to be brought in at the right times, and it feels a little awkward. There's a scene where they go to a frat house that's why they're together. They go to a frat house for a party. And they go there and they just have a frat guy who isn't funny. They have this character in there who I would describe him as a desperate character.
To be fair, that is very accurate though. A frat guy who isn't funny. That sounds pretty.
Okay, a frat guy who is even less funny.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Okay.
Because in the movie, yeah, you're right. Because in the movie, he's written as a desperate character.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, what I mean by that is that it seems like not only is the character doing anything for a laugh, but they're writing the character to do anything for a laugh.
Okay.
You know, when they introduce him, he's at a frat party. He comes out wearing a diaper and a baby bib. He's making corny jokes that even the people in the movie don't think is funny, but it's not helping the movie at all that we're watching. There's a point in the movie where he just has to take a shit because, you know, taking shits is funny. There's a point where he's studying with a girl. He's wearing a face mask. When I say a face mask, like, you know, a mask for wrinkle cream or something like that.
Okay.
You know, because I guess the joke is, isn't it funny to see a frat guy, you know, doing beauty maintenance or whatever? It's just this is a lot of things in this movie just didn't work for me. The comedy didn't work. As you can see, some of the characters are not working for me. One of the big problems with this movie is something I've been complaining about since the beginning. And like I said, I understand what happened with the beginning of the movie in Insidious. People really love this film. So the low budget people let slide. And as I said, I respect it for that. But what worked for them in the past, it ain't working now, man. Because the story is not good enough here to make up for that low budget. Looking at this, man, you know, so low budget is fine. But when you get into the further here, with this film, and you can't really tell by this trailer, but when you start getting to, you know, this dimension called the further with the dead people, it starts looking like they bought some shit at a thrift store, Hobby Lobby, and they shot it in a dark garage with a Halloween store fog machine.
Party City. That's what it looked like to me in the trailer. I was like, oh, they got all the mist machines and fog machines. Yeah,
it looks like dry ice and fog machines, and it just looked, you know, it looks like they shot in a warehouse.
Wow, cheap.
Or they put a bunch of blue lights in people's rooms. Boy, they got this thing that they call, you heard in the trailer, astral projection. Mm-hmm. And astral projection in this movie, they just cut off the lights and cut on a dark blue bulb. And just sit there and cut on that fog machine, and that's it, man.
Oh, come on.
They, the ghost, all the demons in this, man, they just, see if I can find something right here. All the demons that they have in here, they just kind of look like spook house actors with plaster on their face.
Right.
You know, it's the budget just isn't working here, man. You know, the cheapness also shows because, like I said, the movie's dull. If the movie had a better pace, you might not be recognizing all the stuff that's cheap here. They might not call attention to itself. But
Didn't the first one have that slow burn pace?
Well,
Yeah,
it
it did.
did.
It did.
'Cause I feel
That
like
was one of my complaints about it. I thought it was so slow.
I feel like all of these movies, all the Insidious universe, and some of the
Conjuring movies.
the Conjuring movies have that whole thing of like,
Yeah.
we ain't got a big budget, a lot going on, so we're gonna take our sweet time doing
the
everything.
ghost moves something.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Yeah.
go to the next scene, I guess.
Isn't it creepy how something almost might be happening?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I didn't like about the first one. I
Yeah.
said it was boring to me.
Yeah.
And things ain't changed at all. And all these movies I've seen, I thought that they were dull. They just stretched this shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're working with a thin premise anyway,
Right.
which they could actually do something with. It's not like they can't do anything with this. I mean, you know, and like I said, not fun of the first one, but I just feel like, especially with this one, they should be exploring the ghost more. If they had actually maybe focused on the ghost and the demons, even as cheap looking as they are, because they talk about how, you know, they're tormented spirits who want to take our lives because I don't know, because they're hating, you know, because they want what we got because they're tired of messing up over and over again. That would have been more interesting instead of always having to concentrate on people like Dalton and other characters that are not that interesting. I don't think they go into the demons enough. I don't think they explore that concept enough. There is one demon or spirit that they concentrate on because his concept is horrifying and hilarious at the same time. At the frat house, they got one dead frat dude who got poisoned in a hazing accident, and he's meant to spend eternity throwing up in a toilet.
Oh my God. That's pretty funny.
No, and they try to play it serious. But it's
Oh
like,
no,
come
that's
on.
hilarious.
like they open the door to him, and he's meant to spend eternity just hunched over that toilet, just throw it up, man. Talking about, don't look at me. And what makes it even funny is that he projectile vomits all the
Oh,
time.
of course.
He's like
So
a
on
garbage
people,
pail
right?
kid.
On people,
Okay.
right?
Oh yeah, always on people. Yeah.
Oh, so it's even ripping off things like from The Exorcist and stuff. So it's doing old stuff that we're used
Yeah.
to.
You got to say he's got a legit claim to want to take somebody's life.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I want to
That's
keep
what it
doing
was like. You
this.
gonna be throwing up eternally. Like, can you just kill me? You're already dead.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh.
I was like, now that's hell right there.
Yeah.
There's also another cool scene where Josh is taking an MRI, and that scene works because it's a very claustrophobic scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's putting an MRI, no escape. The room goes dark. He doesn't know what's happening. He's confused. He feels trapped. That actually works. You know, and that's one of the things with the movie where it leads to a jump scare. That jump scare worked. This movie, the pacing is off because what they do is they spend these long stretches with these characters, long stretches of nothing, long stretches of, you know, trying to make, you know, awkward comedy. And then it'll lead to nothing but a jump scare. You know, nothing that's really, you know, it's cheap is what they're doing right here, you know? And it's, so yeah, man. And I'll tell you for those who are fans of this, they do bring back some things that you recognize. Like I said, you know,
That old woman.
Lynn Shay? Oh.
Lynn Shay is here. She's not in it much.
Yeah.
Not in it much
She's
at all.
dead by this point in the franchise. She dies in like the original
Is she?
film.
Does
Yeah,
she?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't even know.
It doesn't matter.
But they do bring back again that
Darth Maul.
that middle-aged Darth Maul right there. Who, by the way, I understand some people are terrified of this demon right here, but I was never scared of this fool, man, because he always looked like a cross between Darth Maul and Larry from the Three Stooges.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Leave him alone.
Yeah. You know, just his old balding ass middle-aged
Yeah.
demon right. I just never laughed at him. I said, you know, I mean, because if you bald, shave the side of your
Yeah,
head.
exactly.
Man. Got that crusted clown going on right there.
Definitely.
Still holding on to the dream.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's things you can do. I mean, maybe that's his hell, you know?
Yeah.
Just forever bald
Every
like
time I
that.
cut it, it just grows
Just
right
goes
back.
back out.
Can't pick up chicks like this.
That's why I'm picking on this kid, right? But yeah, man, it does get interesting near the end. You know, things take a very dramatic turn near the end, and the stuff that they're focusing with on the family works better at the end. You know, the stuff that I think if they were going to do that, they should have been kind of doing more and faster. But like I said, man, I was never a fan of these movies. So, you know, I do respect their success, though. I really do. I respect how they did a lot with a little. But the criticisms that I had before, man, y'all got to see with this one. I mean, come on. I mean, I ain't
5 movies in, okay? Come on. Yeah.
Listen, y'all gotta give me a break, man. I mean, you gotta see it with this one, right? I mean, if y'all didn't see it with that last one, this is the one.
Sorry, old man. You're just not hip.
I guess I'm not,
You
man.
You don't get it, man.
So I'm looking at the crowd around me. There was a bunch of little girls, and I saw this in Waco. It's like a bunch of 13, 14-year-old girls came in, and they had a good time. So I guess if you're 13, 14 years old, you're a 13, 14-year-old girl. No, I'm being mean. I would say that for those who are, and there are people who, they love jump scares. They're affected by jump scares. Ghost stuff scares them no matter what. You know, some people are just creeped out by the concept of anything ghostly, anything spiritual and supernatural. This was completely just awful, terrible. And then I would say skip it, skip it 100%. But if you watch this at home, lights out, you know, and you're watching this only as a way to pass the time, I ain't say don't run to this. Don't
praise.
This ain't one you gotta seek out unless you just been that much of an Insidious fan. But if it's if it's something where you want to pass some time, you find this stuff spooky, cut off the lights, especially if you're by yourself. Watch it that way. There's gonna be some moments that might be good for you there. If that's not the rest of you, don't worry about it. And you know, it's because I don't even think the people who like this stuff is gonna leave a lasting impression on. And for me, I'm definitely, I was bored watching this most of the time. I couldn't wait to go. And I'm going to forget about a lot of this stuff like I forgot a lot of the stuff about the last movies. And I'm not trying to pick on this. It's just these movies just don't resonate with me. So just to be fair, this would be a low rental for me. Yeah, it is. And that's just for the few things that did work. And that's, I've come a long way since telling that other movie, so, but that's what I did back in the day. I was like, this movie's all you. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you though, Insidious. I was like, I wish that bald-headed would come up in my house. I slapped the shit out of him.
That's a movie I want to see, actually.
I wish that bald-headed would come up in my house. I ain't scared of him. Ain't nobody worried about him, your old ass. But
that's a great concept, though. Like the ghosts are trapped in the house, and it's the humans that are the ones that are beating the hell out of them, or haunting the ghosts.
Yeah.
Make that movie. Holy hell!
I know. When you get that movie, it comes up in my room.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody scared of him. But Skinamarink creeped me out at night, man. Yeah, when I'm here by myself, I start thinking of Skinamarink. That shit freaks me the fuck out. They came up with a real freaky concept. Yeah. And they made no bones about how cheap that was made.
Right.
You know, Insidious felt like a cheap spook house. Mm-hmm. You know, that like you said.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what got me. But for some reason, it worked with people. So, you know. Anyway.